Hi, boys and girls, and welcome to another story time. Today, I want to talk to you about a really interesting thing, and that is archery. Do you know what archery is? It's the skill of using a bow to shoot arrows. An archer, or the person shooting the arrows, would aim at a target and try to be as accurate as possible. Often, an archer's target looks like this, and the archer is trying to aim for the bullseye or the very center of the target. We call that hitting the mark. Their aim has to be true for the arrow to go where it was intended to go. Now, I've tried to shoot a bow and arrow before, and it can be a very tricky thing. It takes a lot of practice to be able to hit the mark and have a true shot. And even then, most people can't hit it every single time. Now we're going to use our imaginations, okay? Ready? We're going to pretend that our arrows are the things that we do and say, and the target is the truth. You can see that there are a lot of other places on the target aside from the center, and you can shoot your arrow and hit in any of the other rings. It might be on the target, but not at the bullseye. And our goal is to get our arrows right into the center of the bullseye by telling the complete truth and by loving what is true. Have you ever told a lie or said something that wasn't true? Sometimes people tell a lie because they're afraid they'll get into trouble if they tell the truth. Oh dear, that means the arrow doesn't even make it on the target at all. It missed the mark, didn't it? Oops. Has that ever happened to you? We hope it doesn't happen too often. Or how about, have you ever said something that wasn't exactly true? Maybe you did something that you were afraid you'd get into trouble for doing. And so you told your mom or dad what happened, but it wasn't exactly what happened. It was just mostly what happened. We say it's the truth, but maybe not the whole truth. In this case, it might be on the target, but not in the bullseye. That's a little better than missing the target completely, but it's still not in the bullseye. Oops. All right, so sometimes we like to tell stories and we want to make them sound a little more exciting, so we start to add information. This can be called exaggerating. That's probably also on the target somewhere because there are truths in that story, but maybe it wasn't completely true. How are we doing? Seems like the only way to get to the center of the bullseye is to tell the truth completely. Well, the Bible tells us that God is a God of truth. Deuteronomy 32 verse 4 says that He, who is God, is our rock. His work is perfect, for all His ways are judgment. A God of truth and without iniquity, just and right is He. So if God is a God of truth, where do you think He hits on the target? Do you think He ever misses the target completely? No. Do you think He ever hits any of the other rings? No. He hits the mark every single time. He's the master archer. In fact, in Hebrews chapter 6, verse 18, it tells us that it is impossible for God to lie. Not only does He always tell the truth, but He is the truth. Now, usually we don't hear God talking to us in our ears. So what does it mean when God tells the truth? Well, He's given us a special book filled with His words for us. And because He always tells the truth, we can be certain that the words written in this special book are also true. Do you know what that special book is? That's right, it is the Bible. We've mentioned reading the Bible a few times in our story times together. One of the things we can do in our secret place is to read our Bible and learn more about God. Psalm 119, verse 160, tells us that God's word is truth from the very beginning. Every story and every verse that you read in the Bible is true. And we can ask God to help us to love the truth that is His word. The Bible hits the bullseye every single time because it is always completely true. It is really a wonderful thing to know that God is true, that everything He says is true, and that everything we read in the Bible is true. You can imagine that target and know for sure that God will hit the bullseye every single time. So this week, see if you can practice hitting the bullseye too. Ask God to help you speak things that are completely true and to love the truth, even if telling the truth might mean getting into trouble. It's always better to hit that bullseye right in the center than it is to miss. Don't forget, God is truth. God bless you, boys and girls, and I hope you can join us again next time.